tonight.
A boat fire on Georgian Bay prompts quick action.
It was all up in flames before he jumped, and he jumped off the back.
The latest on what happened and what helped save a man's life. Plus, questions over a proposed quarry.
It probably has minimal, or what we think are minimal, environmental impacts.
Why it's wanted, and concerns from residents. And digging into the past of a suspect in multiple murders.
And she just said that she wasn't allowed to be near alcohol or she could go to jail.
What sparked the investigation of an alleged serial killer.
CTV News with Alastair Connolly.
Good evening. There were tense moments on Georgian Bay this morning when a boat caught fire. Witnesses jumped into action and may have saved a life. CTV's Roger Klein has that story.
Hopefully that guy's all right.
Also near Midland, authorities are investigating a shocking case of animal cruelty. 8 puppies were found abandoned on the side of a road in a garbage bag. These are the 4 surviving puppies. They're now in the care of the OSPCA in Renfrew. Sadly, the other 4 died. The horrifying discovery was made on Baseline Road South in Midland on October 14th. The pups are believed to be a Lab Shepherd mix. It's not known how long they'd been there. Anyone with information should call the OSPCA. Provincial police are trying a new tactic to help solve a murder. The body of 65-year-old Frederick Hatch was found near the town of Erin, west of Orangeville, last December. Now, nearly 1 year later, police have gone to a judge and got the phone numbers of 7,500 people whose cell phones showed they were in the area when Hatch disappeared. Tomorrow, police will text them. Police say the tactic is legal and the users can decide whether or not to respond.
We believe this text message canvas to cell phone owners will reach potential witnesses who may not be aware of this murder, but can help us solve it.
Police are hoping to generate some anonymous tips. Plans for a massive quarry in Dufferin County are being examined more closely. The project would involve large amounts of aggregate being hauled out of the quarry and down local roads. CTV's Casey Colby reports.
1 million tons every year.
Now to disturbing new details about the registered nurse accused of murdering 8 vulnerable patients in southern Ontario. Elizabeth Wetlaufer had been described as friendly, but revealed a much darker side online. CTV's Peter Ackman has more on the murders and how the suspect allegedly confessed to the crime.
When things were the happy days.
For up-to-date information throughout the day, follow us on Twitter at CTV Barrie News, your best source for breaking news and developing stories. Let's get a first look at the weather forecast now, and there are some special weather statements in effect from Environment Canada. Over the past 3 hours, you can see on the radar the system is moving in ominously from the west, and it is bringing snow with it. Here are some temperatures around the region right now, from 3 in Owen Sound and Collingwood, Alliston, 2 in Barrie, right at the freezing mark in Gravenhurst, and -4 now in Algonquin Park. We're going to get a look at the 5-day forecast a little later in the show. Tonight's Simcoe County School Board meeting was a more passionate affair than most. Residents from Wasaga Beach pleaded with board members to build a high school in the town.
Our children in Wasaga Beach deserve what every child in this province, in this country, in North America have, and that's to have an opportunity to attend high school, public school, in their own community.
Members of the Wasaga Beach High School Task Force Committee are pushing for a school in their community. Currently, over 700 students are bused to nearby towns. The board says over a quarter of those are Catholic students and shouldn't be counted. Task Force argues Wasaga's population is growing. The board says not quickly enough.
The growth over the next 20 years in Wasaga Beach is 89 students. And that's just above what's currently there. So 89 students just isn't enough over 20 years to consider growth. So a few years from now, it may be warranted, but at this point in time, we just don't see it.
Parents remain concerned about their children's long travel times on buses. They say bad weather also increases risks. Meanwhile, the future of Wasaga Beach's publicly owned power company is up for debate. Signs are being put up all over town by residents opposed to the sale of Wasaga Distribution. Nearly 1,000 people have signed a petition demanding it stays in public hands. Selling is one of 3 options the town is considering as it evaluates the company's future. Residents fear letting it leave public hands would lead to higher electricity bills.
Well, I think that Wasaga Distribution is well known as a very efficient utility. The electricity rates are low in comparison with our neighbors, and there's a lot of pride in our local utility. So I think people feel a certain attachment to it and don't want to see it sold.
Council will not make a final decision until it holds public meetings to collect input. Local utility companies have been sold in other communities. Municipal governments have looked to raise revenue and avoid high maintenance and operating costs. The power of Halloween could be felt across Barrie tonight as the annual Ghost Bus Tour made a stop in the South End. A Barrie transit bus has been transformed into a place for ghouls and goblins to explore and have some fun. This is the 3rd year the bus has brought Halloween fun to kids in Barrie. It makes stops at recreation centres across the city. Tonight, it was the Allendale Rec Centre. Tomorrow night, the bus will be at the Holly Community Centre from 5 p.m. until 7:30. It's a scary night in Barrie and could be a scarier morning. Later in the show, we'll have the full forecast, including more details on some special weather statements. Plus, the latest on the always bizarre race to the White House. Find out why Donald Trump didn't spend all day campaigning. You're watching CTV News, Barrie.